Coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News on Mid-Missouri CW starts now.
President Trump is now speaking on his new Attorney General and immigration. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Reek.
And I'm Olivia Gerling. Thanks for joining us. This week, people around the country, including here in mid-Missouri, protested Trump's replacement Attorney General. Tonight, he fired off comments before leaving for the weekend on an official trip to France. NBC's Blaine Alexander reports.
President Trump defiantly denying allegations that he chose Matt Whitaker for acting Attorney General as a way to undermine Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. The president saying he wants to see it go before the Supreme Court.
Before leaving to Europe, Trump signed a proclamation to deny asylum to migrants who enter the country illegally. This comes as caravans of Central Americans slowly approach the United States.
A new United Nations survey shows nearly half of the migrants in the caravan are leaving violence or insecurity. The International Organization for Migration interviewed nearly 300 walkers who left El Salvador last month. Nearly 80% say they're seeking a better life in the U.S. About half say they're leaving violence behind. As for President Trump's proclamation, two women from El Salvador discussed the caravan here in Columbia today. They say many want to avoid issues like unemployment. Through a translator, Zalma Hernandez says gang violence is also a threat.
They request the youth to be part of these groups, and it's one of the main situations that we had that is bad because they want to study, they want to have a job, they don't want to be part of these groups.
The women say taking violent action against the migrants by the military would be a mistake. Martinez says Americans can help by providing items like food and clothing.
Boone County prosecutors charged a man charged in connection with a string of K2 or synthetic marijuana overdoses in Columbia this weekend. 25-year-old Kenneth Edwards is charged with possession with the intent to distribute a synthetic controlled substance. Court documents show police found Edwards unresponsive near 6th Street and Wilkes Boulevard with K2 in his pocket. Edwards is due in court next week.
The man accused of robbing a bank in South Columbia this week confessed to several other robberies the past 2 years. Roger Ballinger faces charges of first-degree robbery and armed criminal action. A complaint says Ballinger showed a fake gun and stole about $6,000 from the Commerce Bank Monday. He admitted responsibility for two other bank robberies, one in Columbia, the other in Florida. Ballinger is being held in the Boone County Jail without bond.
The Highway Patrol released new information on a missing 6-year-old boy. The Camden County Sheriff's Office issued an endangered person advisory for Braden's Christian Jones. He went missing August 3rd. The updated advisory says he might be in a red 2004 Honda Civic or gray 2000 Toyota Camry. They say his mother, Aubrey Ferguson, refuses to return him to the father. They say Ferguson might be with a man named Woodrow Ziegler. A court order says Ziegler is not to have any contact with the child. The mother and son were last seen in Iberia October 24th. The patrol is asking anyone with information to contact the Camden County Sheriff's Office.
Something that sounds straight out of a horror movie is happening right here on mid-Missouri highways. A headless deer, and many of them. KOMU 8's Natalie Rice is here in the studio with a bizarre story.
Someone is salvaging deer from roadways and taking their heads. The Missouri Department of Conservation has been getting a lot of calls lately from drivers wondering about all of the decapitated deer. It says that collectors are probably using the carcasses for their antlers. The roadkill isn't necessarily fair game, though. Possession of any wildlife is illegal without a proper permit. Hunters can go out and get a deer legally starting tomorrow, the opening of hunting season. In the studio, Natalie Rice, KOMU 8 News.
Natalie, thank you. The University of Missouri is now the sole U.S. provider of a crucial treatment for thyroid cancer. This is the first time in nearly 4 decades that iodine-131 has been made in the United States. The treatment is made by the university's research reactor known as MUR. The revenue generated from making iodine-131 will help further cancer research at Mizzou.
One of the benefits of providing this isotope is it does generate revenue. And here at the University Research Reactor, we generate revenue to do what? To fund additional research.
MU's central location means the treatment can be widely distributed across the country.
China's state-run press agency unveiled new artificial intelligence anchors. They read the news using synthesized voices. The news agency used footage of human anchors as a base layer. Then it animated parts of the mouth and face to turn the speaker into a virtual puppet. It says the anchors could be used to cheaply generate news reports for the agency's TV, web, and mobile output.
Coming up, how a hospital honored those who served our country.
With colder temperatures here, demand for shelters is high, but what's the supply like? That's coming up.
That's how Skynet wins, folks. Temperatures are going to be cold tonight. 26 in Columbia. That cooler air to the north, that's the cool weather direction. We fall into the middle teens tonight. It's likely a record breaker. My full forecast is coming up after the break. Welcome back to KOMU 8 News at 9 on Mid-Missouri's CW. You're taking a look at our time lapse from the Jefferson City area. Today we saw a lot of cloud cover, then we saw snowbursts this afternoon across the region. Then we saw clear skies start to move in. That clear sky is going to allow temperatures to drop very quickly as we go through the rest of the night. Our current temperature at the Columbia Regional Airport, 26 degrees. We still have some clouds out there, but those will continue to fade away as we go through the rest of the overnight hours. Monday, that next system will move in. A 30% chance of a rain-snow mix then. It's a cold day, 35 degrees. Low temperatures back into the teens Monday night and Tuesday night. But by Wednesday afternoon, we are warmer back into the middle to upper 40s, and 50s are in the forecast for Thursday.
I want to show my colleagues and my viewers something that happened 20 years ago tonight. It was the South Ridge tornado. It dropped from the sky at 2 a.m. That's the South Ridge neighborhood. That's between Old Nifong and what is now New Nifong. Of course, New Nifong wasn't there 20 years ago, but it was a mess. Luckily, no one died. It was EF2 for most of the time. I would say it was on the ground for probably a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes at the most.
That's terrifying.
Threw one man out of his second floor bedroom out into the yard.
Oh my
he
gosh.
was lucky to be alive, but it was 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And as you said, it happened late in the night. So something that we are always concerned about is when we get that nighttime threat. It's so important to have multiple ways to get information.
Right.
And of course, you know, it's an important reminder. It happened 20 years ago. Tornadoes can happen at any time of the year.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thankfully,
terrifying.
not in the forecast anytime soon.
Good. Just
Good, it
cold
better
weather.
not.
Just cold.
Well, with winter and weather arriving faster than usual, Columbia area homeless shelters are hard at work. KOMU 8 Shade Bullock is live in Columbia to explain how one is helping people stay warm.
I'm standing in front of the Salvation Army Harbor House, where it is very cold outside. So thankfully, everyone that comes here is inside. The Harbor House is one of Columbia's many homeless shelters that is bearing the cold tonight. This shelter in particular is turning no one away. Take a look at this video I shot earlier today. The Salvation Army Harbor House usually sleeps 61 people, but it is opening its doors to more due to winter weather. Those who exceed the capacity of the shelter will be sleeping on cold cots in the dining and lounge areas.
When they come in from the streets in that particular way, we don't have any kind of excessive process of getting them in. It's basically you're cold, you have a place to go, you're in.
People staying at the Harbor House will receive dinner and breakfast. Live in Columbia, Shade Bullock, KOMU 8 News.
In Northern California, 5 people have died in the Camp wildfire. They were found inside vehicles. Their identities are not known. The wildfire ignited yesterday morning in the Feather River Canyon. So far, it has destroyed 2,000 homes and buildings and threatens 15,000 more. The cause of the campfire is not known. In Southern California, the Woolsey fire continues to move rapidly, pushing towards the Pacific Ocean. So far, it has killed 5 people. It started yesterday during warm and dry conditions. Flames spread quickly because of the strong winds. Tens of thousands have been evacuated, including the entire city of Malibu.
So I was just coming up the street to see my neighbors, and I didn't realize my house gone too. Oh, it's shocking.
How many years living here?
21 years.
California's acting governor Gavin Newsom declared a state of emergency. About 2,000 firefighters are on the ground.
We don't happen to have a fly swatter on the desk anywhere, do we?
No fly swatter, but a flea flicker. Sports is coming up.
Welcome back. Chemistry and football and politics. Three things that don't usually mix, but they will tomorrow. During halftime of the MU football game, Governor Parson will recognize MU's first ever Nobel Prize winner, George Smith. Parson will present Smith with a proclamation. Parson said in a statement, Smith's scientific contributions are, quote, a benefit to us all. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry last month for his research on proteins that could help fight off diseases. Smith will collect the actual prize in Sweden next month.
The Truman VA Hospital honored its veterans earlier today. The event started with a tribute to the nation's flag. Two of the veterans there made remarks about what it means to be a veteran and their love of service. A Vietnam vet says they should accept appreciation whenever it comes, even if it's late.
We, the veterans, we are not bad people. We are merely responding to our country's call to duty.
Plummer says they didn't create the conflict that caused war, but they are the ones trying to fix it.
Columbia veterans at the Bluffs Care Facility also received special honors today. More than 30 of them from 3 wars got a pin and a certificate for their service. The Boone County Fire Protection District pipes and drums performed. A veteran of the Korean War says it was a nice surprise.
All the years that me and the others were in, we were called the Forgotten. So I didn't expect this to happen.
In addition to being a Navy veteran, Beck also served the Jefferson City Fire Department for 41 years. Veterans Day is Sunday. We'll be right back.
Now from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
Good evening, everyone. District Championship Week in Missouri High School football. We begin right here in Columbia. Nathaniel Pete leading his Class 6 Rockbridge Bruins against Blue Springs Wildcats at home. That is going to do it for sports. We'll have full football highlights coming up at 10 o'clock.
Coming up on KOMU 8 News at 10, Afghan-Taliban peace talks began today in Russia.
Yeah, but one key member to the talks rejected the invite. Join us for KOMU 8 News at 10 for more.
It's a cold night, and it's going to be a cold morning across mid-Missouri. Here's our current wind chills right now. 14 in Columbia, 8 in Moberly, 8 in Odessa, 19 down at the Lake of the Ozarks. That's one of our warmer spots this evening. We'll fall to an actual low near 16, but those wind chills will be in the single digits tomorrow morning. Misleading sunshine. It's going to look warm. Certainly not going to be warm in the afternoon, though.
Those high school fans tonight were bundled up.
They were real bundled up. They came prepared, though.
All right, guys, take a look at this one. Look, it's Spider-Man. I love it. A cleaning crew you just would not expect. It's a group of window washers dressed as superheroes to wash the windows of Children's Hospital in Springfield, Illinois. They can clean tall windows in a single swipe and light up smiles with a single glance.
I love stories like that.
I do, too. I want to do that.
That is our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good night.